I have the very difficult job to talk after very interesting founders, and I'm not even a cool guy. But anyway, can we go back before we do this? And I'll say a couple words. Guys, exactly 3 months and 4 days ago, we had an idea, and we think actually this can be the beginning of putting the old world in connection to the beauty that you guys are building. So essentially, we thought, how can we actually bring the crypto story into the merchants daily without actually disrupting the existing experience which the users are used to, which is essentially get a card, tap the card in the terminal, take funds from the decentralized wallet in a couple of seconds. So I want to start from the back to today. This actually happened this morning, 4 a.m., which is the first live transaction in production from a Visa card. Yes. So this card in a terminal saying approved. And might sound very simple, but for those that understand how the old world functions and the new world functions, and when we go into performance, double spending, ensuring that funds will not get out of the, well, it goes out of a decentralized account where you don't have access to the funds, and making commitments with the merchants, because once you sign a transaction that you say, okay, you're obliged as an acquirer to pay the merchant, regardless if you have the funds or not. So there's lots of things they involve. So I have tons of slides. I'm not going to go into all the slides. Happy to talk with you guys after the session. I'll put my contact later. But essentially, I'm part of SaltPay, boring world, old guys, which I had the pleasure to meet Stefan in a trip that I tried to cancel 3 times. Michael actually was supposed to go with me, and then last minute he didn't go. So I spent 3 days with Stefan. And basically, after knowing all about Gnosis, I basically introduced why we exist, which is very simple. Since 1950s to 2000 and today, 2022, you see lots of things happening in the front end from a consumer point of view. But actually, in reality, back-end systems, they were developed in 1969 with mainframes. In 1973, when Visa actually created the specs, which runs all transactions of today. So 92 banks of top 100 banks in the world still rely on mainframe systems, where 90% of all transactions and payments still go through mainframe systems. So as SaltPay, you think, okay, what are you guys going to do in this world that you think is going to be better if you're actually still talking to legacy systems? Essentially, back in the days, I think we have a pointer here. But yeah, back in the days, you had only these little players helping the merchant and the cardholder to make a transaction. Today, in any given credit card transaction, you have at least 15 players. So you can imagine the cost of a transaction at bare minimum. Now, tons of problems. I'm not going to go into the crypto problems because you guys have probably, I have very interesting sentences here which you don't want to read. But essentially, what would be the solution to connect tons of projects which are amazing that you guys are doing, sometimes, in my view, not resolving business problems, but technical problems for sure. Imagine a network in which we can actually still use the experience of a day-to-day consumer, and it's more scalable, more efficient back-end, and you still can actually not have the dependency on financial institutions, because I think that's one of the biggest problems we face all over the globe. That is actually cheaper, faster, and more secure. So we have developed the wallet, we have developed the card. It basically, this is probably what you guys are interested on. So essentially, we have a payment terminal that talks to this card. This card is a hardware wallet and a Visa card. So essentially, you're signing the blockchain transaction in the terminal, and you basically passing all the way through the network, which essentially talks to the processing engine that registers the transaction in the blockchain, and essentially guarantees that the funds can be removed from the wallet. And later on, with a ramp-off system, pays the acquiring network or the network in fiat. Now, this does not solve the problem of tomorrow, which is essentially we want to bypass Visa or just talk directly to the terminal, but it does help everybody in the payment ecosystem to talk to you guys. So we have 80 million merchants that are allowed to accept crypto funds from today onwards because of this project. And the moment we create, or we enable, because we already created, but we enable the incentives for acquirers to implement the direct communication with this and this, we unlock at least in my stupid calculation, 2,500 times cheaper transaction cost to merchants and cardholders. So we can also enable yield farming funds to merchants and consumers. We can bring other sorts of incentives for cardholders to keep funds in the wallet. Now, all of this, I will take it later because I do have a constraint of time, otherwise tech will kick me off. But we believe we can actually, we have the economical model to create the incentives. So essentially in the future, this is the space where we see that it can be distributed to the ecosystem in a better way, either in a format of a cheaper transaction or because we push back funds to the players that are connected to the ecosystem. But I guess this is all I wanted to say for now. Very happy day today. First time we did this. Hopefully by the end of the year we have our crypto native transaction in 300,000 terminals. If we do so, then I'll send you guys a very happy smile saying we're actually going beyond than what we did today. Thank you.